Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys have and all that, but like, read that thing. It is like, you're done. Like, you read that, and that's why we're litigation happy. You want to get rid of litigation? Get rid of the guardrails. Stop trying to do guardrails. Let it play. Let's see.
We haven't. We don't talk about it specifically. We always just talk about the 9-0, just how resounding that was.
Yeah, and there are a lot of. I thought that was like a rare one because you always hear like it's going to be the Democrats on the side.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a lot of 9-0s, which I didn't know until a few years ago. But yeah, it's 9-0. They're all looking at this like, yeah, whatever. Half the judges are like, why would we even rule on this? This is
right.
like this doesn't even merit argument. But yeah, it is a damning statement, and that's why when I would listen to these hearings, and I'm not talking about the Saban one, I'm just talking about generally, we've had all these hearings, and guys are like, well, what we need to do is set up a rule where you do this and that. And you're like, dude, and then you go, well, what about? Or when you talk to coaches, well, what you're going to lose in this? Oh, I don't know anything about the legal stuff. Okay, well, that's great. Guess who does? Brett Kavanaugh. He's not going anywhere, right? Like, you're not going to get this done unless you go to Congress. But I'll give you one on the transfer, because I 100% agree, right? The transfer portal is the NCAA's own creation. And they used to allow coaches to abuse where kids wanted to go. And they could put blocks on kids. You were prohibited from transferring to any school in the conference, our arch rival, anyone on our schedule. There were times kids would get 30 to 40 schools they would be blocked from attending in college football. So now you like, there's 60 teams, right? They overplayed it, and then they responded by coming up with this. Let's be nice. It was well-intentioned. Let's have a waiver process where we're going to allow, hey, if there's a good reason, someone should be able to transfer home. So the idea is like, look, kid from Miami, Florida goes to Ohio State, but then his mom is sick and he wants to transfer. Okay, good reason, right? Let's let the kid play, whatever. Well, then we went into the what we like to call on our podcast the Uncle Dialysis era, where everybody had a sick relative, and everybody all of a sudden, I got to drive Uncle Jim over to the dialysis clinic every day. I got to, and you're like, you're transferred to Florida State. You live in Miami. Like, Uncle Jim ain't even here. Like, what? How is this working? But they let all those. Then they just said, okay, everyone can go. So it was well intentioned. But here's the danger that the NCAA is in, and this is what I would go to Congress on. This is like an issue I would go to Congress on. I would try to pass really specific things. If you think of the Sherman Antitrust Act and you think of restraint of trade, and now we have kids, the NCAA has granted 9 years of eligibility and things like that, right? These crazy cases. You finish your 4 or 5 years. They need to have a law that says you can play 5 years and that's it. Something like that, like a federal law, because that's what you could try to protect and get an exemption from the antitrust. Because otherwise, let's say I finish my 4th year, right? And I say, well, I want to be a grad transfer. So I'm going to leave school X and I'm going to go to a school Y, and I'm going to get a accounting major, master's, and I'm going to play a year of football. And with NIL, I'm a good quarterback, but I'm not an NFL quarterback, right? I'm one of these guys. I don't know. Hey, this school's going to offer me $600,000 to go be their quarterback next year. Okay, I do it. Well, if I then get as long as I pass my classes and I'm in academic good standing, why can't I just get another major? Why can't I get another master's degree at this school for another $600? Or I transfer over here. They're going to pay me $700, but I'm going to get a master's in education or something like that. If you say, well, you're out of eligibility, you're now restraining my trade. You're telling me I can't work. And now you've run in foul on this. And I think every person, and so you could have people playing college football for 6, 8, 10, like 12 years, right? Because you're making a good living and you just keep getting educated. And that's what they should really be. Mm-hmm. These are the types of things I think you worry about, because you go, well, you know what? They act like none of us want to see that, right? We don't need like 31-year-old quarterbacks who've been around for 10 years. You want to see the new kids get a chance.